So whoever's down here with us, if you can hear my voice, we have a tool that we're going to use to try to communicate with you. It's going to make a loud noise, but don't be afraid of it. It's just a toy that plays.
What was that?
What was that?
This is Derek Shoemaker, a co-founder of Paranormal of Watertown, a local group that investigates the unexplainable. What that noise was is exactly why he and his team recently investigated the Flower Memorial Library in Watertown, New York. He and his team have conducted multiple investigations throughout New York State over the years. Shoemaker says it was his favorite TV programs that got him interested in the paranormal.
So as far as what got me interested in the paranormal, I've always been interested as a kid. Shows like Unsolved Mysteries and stuff like that, anything from like UFOs, cryptids, ghosts, stuff like that, that's always sparked my interest, is the unknown. Stuff that we can't easily explain is something that piqued my interest with it. We are at the Flower Memorial Library in Watertown, New York. Here there's been a little bit of everything, a lady screaming, kids giggling, reports of shadows being seen in the basement, disembodied voices, hearing footsteps up and walking when there's no one here. Pretty much your standard haunting claims.
In order to conduct these investigations, Shoemaker and his team use several different pieces of equipment to capture video and audio and potentially communicate with any entities that may be present.
The equipment that we use during an investigation varies. A lot of times we will use digital voice recorders that will record on a different frequency that our naked ear can't hear. We'll use audio and visual cameras, full spectrum cameras, infrared cameras that will capture light spectrum that our naked eye can't see. So a lot of the equipment we use is to document and to record in frequencies and light spectrums that we can't normally see without that use of equipment.
This piece of equipment is called a spirit box, which is used to attempt to communicate with entities that may be present during an investigation, and often picks up some interesting audio.
So I was trying to explain this device to you. This is a radio. It's going to be loud at first, but we can hear your voice through it. So don't be afraid of it. Did we hear someone earlier? You trying to communicate with us?
Shoemaker continued to attempt to elicit a response, but wasn't able to pick up anything in this instance. Shoemaker's colleague and fellow co-founder Dan Davis explains what he believes is the cause when something is captured on tape or just experienced that cannot be explained.
The source of paranormal activity, as far as I'm concerned, is mostly just going to be energy. Some people call it our souls. When we pass on, that energy has to go somewhere. Whether it's something that gets stuck in a continuous loop, like a residual type haunting, or it's something that is fully conscious that it's no longer amongst the living, but it can still interact and communicate and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's just our energy is what creates that activity.
Shoemaker expands on what Davis says and explains what the different type of haunting classifications are.
So there's a couple schools of thought on what creates paranormal activity. Some believe it's residual energy, where it's a timestamp, so to speak, where whatever energy has occurred at that time frame or time period gets imprinted into the surroundings, into the walls, into the fabric of the building or land itself. And then there's other beliefs that they're intelligent hauntings, where it's whatever spirit of a human or of an entity remains and lingers, and we call that intelligent hauntings, where that's something where they can interact with you, they understand you, and they try to communicate with you. Whereas a residual is more like on a loop, where if there's banging at the same time every day, or there's footsteps at 6 a.m. every day, it was that person's routine that got imprinted into that fabric of time and space.
Now, let's listen to the opening clip one more time.
So whoever's down here with us, if you can hear my voice, we have a tool that we're going to use to try to communicate with you. It's going to make a loud noise, but don't be afraid of it. It's just a toy that plays.
What was that?
What was that?
Disembodied voice or something easily explained? The decision is yours to make. For WPBS Weekly, I am Eric Cleary.